was always just, no matter what, as far as it got picked, the opposing team
good old
pick
days.
up the Lapu.
Good old days,
You know?
Good old days.
Well, they're back.
Yep. So, what do you pick up for Hades? Guinevere.
Oh.
Interesting. Lolita, I think still you pick up the Lolita for NIP Flash or the Tigreal. And yeah, Minotaur looks good.
Oh, Matilda.
That's a fast-moving composition right there.
It is. It is.
That
Not
is a
huge-
very mobile composition right there. I mean, even without the Matilda, it's a pretty mobile composition, but now you have a Matilda added in the mix, and they are going to be everywhere.
Florin and Diggy looks really good for RQ in this case. Apart from that, yeah, they themselves can pick up the Lolita. I think it's decent versus Matilda as well as Guinevere. What is the last pick, though? Lolita is great, I think, for RQ. But then if they want to be funky, it's Diggy or Florin.
I do kind of like the funky pick, but I don't feel they will go for it. That's the crazy thing, because now, again, reminder for everyone watching, this is a crucial match. Whoever wins the first game is going to have a lot of momentum because the Kufra gets picked up, which could be good, but it's really depending on the setup. So
It's
again,
great.
before I pass it over to our casters, just remember, RQ needs 2-0 to survive. NIP Flash needs 2-0 to advance to the knockout stage. And with the stakes being set, we're done here on the panel stand. We're tossing it over to our casters.
We'll see if they can take that momentum into the Land of Dawn, into potentially a sweep, because that's what we're looking for. Again, it was mentioned by our analysts that points are very scarce now, and they are super duper important, because again, we might end up with as bad as a four-way tie.
I remember we were talking to Zipper earlier, right? And he was mentioning, hey, there's so many different possibilities that could happen, but all of which will lead into a tiebreaker. And I think for RRQ AKIRA, oh no, this could be first blood if Diablo finds the opportunity. Doesn't use the Petrify, luckily. But I don't think he wants to walk up any further than this. And even in the mid lane, you can see that both sides really want to find that first blood early. The Terrify is going to keep him alive, and Cortese ends up losing his Purify pretty early on into the bout.
Wow, both sides not shy to go ahead and use the resources this early on. That was barely a minute in, Gideon. That was a barely minute in. Looking at the battle spells, I'm still not making most of it. The bottom, ooh!
He finds first blood there. Great calculation from Diablo. Timing that Petrify to deny him, but Luis wants to find the trade and gets it back.
There's a reason why they call him the Brazilian Heartbreaker. Amazing instincts from one of the veterans of RRQ AKIRA. As I was saying, man, I want to make the most of the first opening minutes where there's not much action, trying to make sense of the battle spells, trying to make sense of, oh wait, they're going again?
Yep, they want to get another kill here for Hades, and he finds it. A great off-tempo play coming up from NIP Flash.
Oh no. If there's anything I can read from Takasha's face, man, he's not liking that. I wonder, though, is there a way to make it out of that way, Luis?
He wants more. I think he's just going to go down here. Diablo tries to dive an eye for an eye out of there. Less than an HP. Hades should live this, while Vanix on the opposite side already getting chunked out. JPL now getting involved in the matter. Diablo wants to go back in, but he's on level 4. Hades does get the initial knockup and bounces out with a spatial migration. Sagan still alive for their airstrike coming in for Cortese. Not taking aggressive angles. He still doesn't have his Purify yet.
Just like what Sirio Forel told Arya Stark to the god of death, what do we say? Not today. No one fell despite the amazing amount of mechanics and skills put out down there. That was an 0-2 from Cortese. Now back to the action. Again, a lot of very offensive battle spells, emblems for NIP Flash, and it's the battle spells for RRQ AKIRA on the other hand that's very offensive. All flickers, no purifies. They don't fear the Petrify from Diablo, so now another big fight.
Yep, Hades already finds 2 with the Magic Thump and combos it well with JPL to allow Cortese, and a clean execution of a team fight. 2 immediately down with the Electo final blow as the icing on top. But even when we look to the top side, Vanix ends up biting more than he can chew. Does take the shadow from the Spirit Destruction, but will still fall down to Gusta La Gusta.
Okay, so if there's any redemption for the Brazilian squad here, it's up top. It's the gold lane, because again, they lost Turtle. Mid lane, Saigon is having a hard time. Down bottom, Takasha's already died, what, twice, thrice now? And it looks like maybe Gusta La Gusta can be their one hope, their one shining beacon of maybe a mid-game power spike, because this is a Roger we're talking about.
Of course, and it feels like they're going to leave Vanix on an island by himself, because a lot of times we're seeing that Hades is rotating down towards Takashi's side of the map to maybe find another kill to speed this game up. In the meantime, though, I will question whether or not RRQ AKIRA is going to start shifting resources. But then again, here comes the Electro Final Blow once more. King makes it out of there, and that's an early Tortoise Poissons in trade for the Feather Airstrike.
And I get it. As RRQ AKIRA, despite Saigon being nearby and maybe Gusta Lagusta being able to respond either way, they respect the current status quo. We have to play defensively. Certainly, Eagle used on the one, spots Luis, bouncing ball the response, which, by the way, I'm hoping for a lot of big things from this Kufra. Much like an Edith, Kufra has a second skill that acts like an ult. Oh no, down bottom, Diablo.
Oh, the flicker as well from Takashi. Misses the stun as well. Diablo, he's out of the situation. He's cheated death once again.
He's out of his mind is what he is. Remembering his Paquito from the previous series, he's just taking that momentum, the speed, the mechanics, the precision on this very mechanical demanding hero. Ooh.
He wants it. Luis wants it. Doesn't commit the flicker to it just yet, but here comes the full dive as King is trying to stop them from actually retreating. Feathered Airstrike as well being popped out towards Gusta. Gusta gets canceled out, and finally, that should be the end of this. But no, JPL,
Whoa!
He's in trouble. Ends up dying to the stolen Feathered Airstrike from Sagan and Hades. This is all he can do, right? He doesn't have the damage just yet. Electo, oh no, Diablo looking for an opportunity onto Sagan, already using the Petrify as well. Without the final blow, there's no means of getting out, and even for Hades, he might have bitten a little more than, wait a minute, hold on! He makes it, and Vanix is back into the fight! He ends up fighting the first initial trade before Cortese is there to support him. They're really tracking this out, and they might just get the kill. King survives.
Wow, all throughout that bout in the top lane, right underneath tier 2, the front line from NIP Flash was actually trying to take down this turret, and they almost got it. If it wasn't for the control elsewhere, hold up. What? Where was the push? What happened? Oh, down bottom, what?
Yep.
We haven't looked at we missed out on Tekash for just a minute and he worked.
Yep, he was putting some good work as well.
He got it.
So technically, I would say that this is a pretty fair trade for RRQ. They're still slightly behind, but here we go. Luis gonna open up the map. We gotta calm down here. These fights, they're going to keep on happening, and JPL spots every single member of RRQ. AKIRA, they get the initial knock-up with Hades. He wants a little bit more, despite spacing everybody else to conceal, and it looks like RRQ want to re-engage into this fight. Even Takashi with the bravest fighter as well. They do find Cortese, and it's too late. He's already down. Great catch by Luis. Vanix, he's gonna bail away. It looks like NIP Flash just gonna back off.
All right, we're looking at a turtle, potentially the second one. Both teams are actually taking their time with these major objectives because they're so focused on fighting, and the Brazilians get one. Getting his out, can we say that now we're at equilibrium? Looking at the gold, looking at the map, RRQ AKIRA have survived the early game.
Yeah, considering everything that happened down on the bottom side, like, this is great recovery. It shows maturity from this Latam squad.
All right, looking at the gold diff again, Gusta Lagusta, right where he needs to be against Vanix. Luis, well, again, as the Kufra, when you're up against Matilda, you're really giving up more to your teammates, and you're allowing for these assists more aggressively. Check this out. King against 2. Luis taking control of the river.
And here it comes once again, the Feathered Airstrike and the Stolen Feathered Airstrike back in response. They do find the initial kill, but can they get a bigger trade? Luis does end up finding the kill on towards Diablo, and Vanix takes him out, but Gusta Lagusta still on the chase. If he gets JPL, that's a double instantly. A 3-for-2 trade in favor of RRQ AKIRA.
Me gusta this rabid Lobo. He's still going.
Oh, and he gets Vanix as well. Make that 4-for-2. So worth it. Let's look at the STC replay.
Wow. It started off with a relatively shaky response from RRQ AKIRA. King going down first, but then again, it was the bouncing ball. Luis held him down. Yes, he did trade for his life. It started off as a bad engage. They were down 2, and then eventually the cores from RRQ AKIRA came through, and that's what you saw in that replay. Player cam, Luis was like, yes, that was good, that was good.
That's what they need,
in
right?
Portuguese.
In Portuguese, of course, naturally. But I think this is the problem, right? Initially, NIP Flash said, hey, with with the amount of items, with the amount of damage, we're thinking about 2 cycles, rotations of our abilities. We want to use them at least twice in a fight, and RRQ AKIRA are now catching up to that idea as well.
Yep, they are ahead about 1,000 gold here. King continuing the aggression. One of the reasons why Baksha is one of the few jungle utilities that actually flourish in this current metagame is despite being down, despite being behind, his kit doesn't change. The way you engage doesn't change. So that is a level of consistency you can expect even from a team that's playing from behind. But that's a problem that AKIRA has no longer to deal with because now they're kind of ahead. Even if it is NIP Flash first to the scene. Lord here approaching half health. Gets a soft reset. King knows Hades is around. This could be a potential 5v5. I love how Takashi is taking control of that Y bush.
Oh, yeah. They just got to make sure that these choke points are going to be clear, right? And I think that even for King, his objective, he's still looking for Curteezy, right? A large majority of this game has been, can we hit the mid game without having to take too much damage from the tethered airstrike? And if they can get another Purify out of Curteezy again, I think RRQ AKIRA can replicate their previous fight.
And river control now belongs to NIP Flash. King spots one in the pixel brush, the committal.
All right, but Hades, he's out of it instantly. Luis just short, just 2 inches short from catching him. But now the rest back away. Diablo does get the Malefic Roar, so this is going to be a pretty big power spike for him as the Benedetta. As long as he has that Electro Final Blow plus that Petrify, squishy backlines could be in trouble. Hades gets the initial Magic Thumb. King, he's going to start zoning away. Feather Airstrike is already up. The Stolen One is dealing much more damage, and Lagusta kills Hades. Now on top of Vanix, dodges away from the Spear of Destruction as well as depositioning from the sideball. But Diablo, he fights King. Curteezy the next to fall with the help of Takashi, but most of the time when we look at the kills, it's 2-1 in favor of RRQ AKIRA.
And now they make a beeline for the Lord. 2 core heroes plus 2 chunky enforcers putting up a barrier. Yep, they're going to commit to this. I don't think NIP Flash can actually fight it. SOD off of cooldown. Can't even think of using that. Huge win for the Latam Kings.
Rather surprising that they were able to come out on top in that fashion, right? You would imagine that when we're talking about Takashi and as well as Diablo, there's a pretty big difference between the two gold-wise.
Yep, now we'll wait to see until the gold spread shows again. And in the items, we'll notice as well how far each role is from the other. We're approaching a 2K gold lead now for RRQ AKIRA with the Lord marching down mid. Here we go. Oh, I love how despite having a hard start, King has just great damage coverage right now.
Yeah.
He has the Antikiras and the Athena shield. Do your worst, Hades. Do your worst, Kurt.
Yeah, he can't get 100-0 here. And that's the important factor. As long as he's able to frontline for his team, red tree or not, if they win the team fight, they're going to make this trade worthwhile. It looks like RRQ AKIRA are going to start sieging the tier 2s, cutting off supply routes and reinforcement pathways for NIP. But I think at this point of time, right, it really boils down to execution. Here comes Luis once more trying to open up the map. And oh, Hades, he saw the Magic Thumb is going to cancel. He can't seem to get out here. He gets locked down by Takashi as well as the rest of the team tries to zone them away. They cannot save him. Diablo even committing to try and cut them off.
Hades on the Guinevere is not a free casualty. That's not a hero you're just willing to give up willy-nilly. And now they're looking at all of their turrets outside their base taken down. Takash cutting it through, proxying it from behind, and that's the wave crashing on down, taking that last turret. About 1.5 minutes until the next Lord comes through, and maybe the one way I see NIP Flash contending for that is through an SOD and a full-range Feathered Airstrike from Curteezy. That aside, every other bit of engagement that they have has to be very cheeky. Again, they're not looking at like a Cho. They're not looking at like a Atlas is out of the meta, but you know what I mean? Like how it's a full, a Grok. They're not, that's the thing. Again, in hindsight, I think our analysts will go deep in it, especially if they win. The Grok ban by Coach Cabral, now the fight!
Purify instantly, Curteezy tries to reposition as the rest of the team is just taking damage. Vanix is already down. Lugusta isolates him. Oh no, even the stun connecting from Takashi. They're connected to the Kala here. Everybody is one. RRQ AKIRA takes an amazing trade 2-for-1 again.
Gusta Lagusta, half man, half wolf, all rabid. 7-1 and 6. About half of RRQ AKIRA's kills come from this young man. I cannot believe how well they protected him. And his one death His one death is all the more worth it now that they're looking at a penetration. Curtizi with a feathered airstrike.
Yep, he's going to clear up these waves. They're going to protect another inhibitor. It's important to keep them all up, especially on that first Lord push as we start moving towards mid to late. And it's a scary situation, right? Because it feels like RRQ AKIRA, they don't have to be so execute heavy on their comp. They can play their time.
If anything, they can ram themselves into NIP Flash with this gold lead that they have, about 5,000 now, Gideon, approaching 5,000. And here we go, NIP Flash for the first time in a while, looking for a fair fight. Looking to contest, Lord at a tenth of its health.
They're going to try. The attempt is there. The stuns on that front line doesn't allow Hades, but Hades steals it. He's out of there with the spatial migration. Curtizi as well manages to get on out of there. They find two and the steal. RRQ AKIRA fall fate to just daylight robbery.
That's what they call big money moves. Lagusta getting shut down. That's 6 kills worth of a bounty for NIP Flash. For Hades.
Oh my goodness. How did they turn that around, man?
The gold lead. Kaput.
Oh, I thought RRQ AKIRA were connected, right? They could see the map like the observer view, but unfortunately, all their attention is so heavy, and I think maybe they made the call a little early.
They need to be more together. And now King takes a few volleys from Curtizi as if the early to mid game spike did not happen. NIP Flash now in control. Look at how they manage the waves. It's immaculate. It's all blue now.
Yep. I mean, this is the Singaporean classic, right? They're known for their heavy macro style.
And their cleanliness.
They
cleaned up house, son. Look at this.
It's spotless. It's truly spotless, but let's see if they get an inhibitor. The Feather Airstrike is already out, and King has lost at least a quarter of his health. They should be able to defend this, but at the cost of at least just one inhibitor. Now, here comes Takashi. He's trying to clear this wave as hard as he can. Rage Blade now activated to get him out of the situation, and they managed to defend one, but here comes the second wave. Now, bottom side, still taking its time. JPL doesn't find the angle just yet as Diablo looking to clear up the rest of the map, and there we go. A clean defense at the cost of one inhibitor.
Looking for that hero play from Astro Thunder Takash. We saw him just persevere through an early game, endure through 3 deaths in the first 5 minutes. Now he has to level up.
Oh no, Hades, he's been caught. The spatial migration won't get him out of there. Lagusta, little health he has, manages to survive on top of the pick. And now, NIP Flash with a man down. They manage, actually, I don't think it's that bad. Hades goes down, the next objective isn't going to spawn in time, and it's 2 inhibitors.
The young Mark Lazaro, a local of Pasay City, Manila, sacrificed himself for that bottom lane tier 3. I'll take that deal any day. Especially with how, still back and forth these fights are. I'll take it any day. Oh, wait, conceal play. Conceal play.
Oh, then maybe might find something here. Curtizi able, with wings by wings, get on out of there. With the help of JPL, stays pretty topped up here. But I agree with you, right? He died for the greater good. And that's very much like the style. As long as they're getting clean trades against each other, economical trades, it's worthwhile.
Don't do it if you're Vanix. Don't do it if you're Kurt. Hades can, maybe Diablo, 50-50, but do what you need to stop RRQ AKIRA from snowballing out of control. Now, so far, despite having lost 2 team fights back-to-back, RRQ AKIRA back on the hunt, taking control of these odd Y bushes. I wonder, well, what could be the play here, Gideon? Like, they're controlling the other half of the map as if they have a diversion. Is it because they're just that fast? They can just rotate that fast? Oh, no!
Oh, look at rolling in. King, he's trying to get on out of there. Manages to get out. And like the final blow! On to Luis, taking him out. Now the backline has full access. Lagusta is trying to get away, but Vanix catches him with an SOD. And now saying he's on the run, but it's too late. They have to throw bodies at the wall. They break 2 immortalities, and Takashi, he's out. There's no way. He's alive!
Did, but he did! And Curtizi looking to go hunting, wins by wings, no one home. Despite surviving what should have been a lethal engage, RRQ AKIRA is still not very happy with the results of that team fight. Look at this once more. NIP Flash just welcomed Luis with open arms, melted him like he was a baby marksman. That is a Kufa you're looking at. Treated him like a level 1-1-1.
Yeah, and you can see Lagusta, he's like, man, I just got clipped at the very edge of it. The very edge. His spacing was good.
To be honest, he was getting away with so much in the first 10 minutes of the game.
That's also fair.
Just like and pounce here, dash on through there.
Casual instant karma.
Iframes, you know. Not this time. It was bound to happen. Now, they got gotta defend.
Oh, here comes the bait here from King. Luis unable to catch anybody just yet, but that's the Feather Airstrike as well as the SOD. They're not going to take it this time round. They need to sync up with the rest of the waves. They've got 2 pushing waves, but one slower and the other faster.
Oh, these are Mayor waves, man. Big, empowered minions. Plus a Lord up top. Feather Strike stolen by Saigon, doing his best. I can feel him sweating, man. This is tough.
Yep. I mean, I think it's even more annoying for NIP Flash here because they're looking at this and like, man, I can take another inhibitor, but really, I just want to crack open the crystal. But if I jump too hard, Luis could punish. Here comes the conceal. Luis behind the crystal to try and make the play. Doesn't find anybody just yet. Slow motion. Hades gets the knock up onto Luis for it. Now he like the final blow being committed as well. The Petrify out to Costa Lagosta. He's down. Diablo finds the pick of a lifetime, trading his life for higher. And that's NIP Flash taking this game. That's 1-0. Nicely done by the Singaporean reps.
Amazing Aikido performance from NIP Flash, the champions of MPL SG, finding that hip toss right in the late game transition and getting